Good day, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this mini webinar. We have other full-length webinars on our website. We hope you also enjoy those as well. This particular mini webinar is going to be on the gas utility rates. We're doing these mini webinars to answer frequently asked questions by you. So this will be one of many. Before I get into the rates, I do want to just clarify or even explain is the New York City Clean Heat program and its purpose and the important regulations within it. And the importance is that we're looking to eliminate number 6 and number 4 heavy heating oils with cleaner fuels. And it could be number 2 fuel oil, it could be natural gas. It's a fuel neutral program. But today, of course, we're going to be talking about the gas rates. Phase 1 is very important dates. As of July 1st of 2012, DEP no longer approves certificate of operations for number 6. Very important for everybody to understand that. These permits must be renewed every 3 years, so number 6 will be completely eliminated by 2015. For buildings whose expiration expired prior to 2012, they were able to renew. Any buildings whose expiration was after July 1st, 2012 has to do something. Phase 2 is to help buildings move to a next step, but it's very important that they know that next step was switching to a number 4 fuel oil. All buildings must convert to the cleanest fuels by 2030 or when replacing boiler or a burner, whichever happens sooner. That's a very important key to understand. So if you are replacing any part of your heating system, you will have to go to number 2. The map to the right just shows the density of the soot buildup, the particulate matter that is the reason for this regulation. All right, Public Service Commission. Why do we have rates? The utilities work with the Public Service Commission and in the development of tariffs, which, as the definition indicates, is a joint agreement. And within this mini webinar will be links that you can access more information. So the rates in terms of the service under which the utility provides all electric, gas, or steam service are set forth in schedules. And I'll be talking about those schedules. So we talk about a therm. It's a unit of gas of which the utility can charge a customer. And the tariffs always talk about the transportation charges and not the commodity. The commodity is the gas itself. It's a throughput. I'm going to be talking about these as we move further on. This is for both Con Edison and National Grid. Those are the links that a person can access, the actual rates themselves. All right, a quick reference, firm rate. It's for buildings that are only on gas. With a firm rate, a building is entitled to entitlements of 100 feet of free gas main, which is the pipe in the street, and 100 feet of free service, which is the pipe from the street to the building. There's another rate, it's called an interruptible rate, where a building has to maintain oil as a secondary source of energy. And then, of course, there's a third one, is a dual fuel firm rate, which is very similar to the firm rate. However, it allows the building to maintain another source of energy, but the building must burn a minimum amount of gas determined by Con Edison or National. Actually, this is a Con Ed rate by Con Edison prior to burning any oil. And each of these rates should be discussed with the utility representative prior to, or at least prior to building out of the system. All right, service classifications 2 and 3, which is Con Edison and National Grid. It's a firm rate. Firm rates apply to gas service that will not be interrupted because of the weather or other conditions. As I said, there are entitlements of 100 feet of free gas main and 100 feet of free service to this building. And again, I'm repeating, but this is important that this is only for the transportation. The commodity component is a throughput cost, and each customer can opt to go to a commodity broker to save on this component. So you can go to an ESCO and go into contract for several years on the commodity. The transportation will still be with the utility. What I'm going to show you here basically is how the tariff is structured for a firm rate customer. Now, this is an example for a Con Edison customer. So what we're looking at here, just to make things very simple, we're assuming the building burns 10,000 therms in a monthly period for heating, and it's located in a Con Edison territory. Okay, this is this is what is defined in the tariff, and these are called rate blocks or tail blocks, I should say. So this is how your bill would be broken out. Again, only for the transportation component. So people have an understanding about the cost of their gas. And then the total monthly bill for the transportation component for this particular scenario would be $3,713. So you would take, to complete the whole billing process, you would take the 10,000 therms, multiply that by the cost of the commodity per therm. You would add that to the 3713 and you would get your total monthly bill. The interruptible rate. Interruptible rates are for customers who can burn either gas or fuel oil, or actually have any other source of fuel or any source of energy. You may be able to substitute your secondary fuel or secondary energy with electric, but in most cases it's definitely a fuel oil that's going to be the secondary source. The interruptible customers agree to have their gas flow interrupted based on the company's pre-established criteria. The interrupter rate may change from month to month and may be lower than the firm rate. In some cases, it may be equal to the firm rate. So these are things also that's very important you speak to the utility representative on. And with an interruptible rate, you do not get any entitlements. So for the service, for the free service that was given to the firm rate customer, the interruptible customer must pay for them. And then, of course, there is a temperature control rate, which is predominantly used in the national grid, and this is temperature driven, where buildings that are on this temperature control rate, when the temperature achieves either 15 for national grid, 19 for Con Edison, you will be asked to switch over to your secondary fuel. If you do not switch over to your secondary fuel, there will be penalties, and they are based at 9 times the cost of the gas, not the price you pay to your commodity broker or to the company, but the actual price of gas. These are some clarifications or priorities to the interruptible customer. So priority AB for buildings under 100,000 therms. Your backup oil could be number 4 or ultra low sulfur number 2. And of course, so forth and so on, C, D, and E. Important to know, interruptible customers need to maintain a 10-day supply of fuel oil and keep the oil equipment ready at all times. This is what I was talking about. If you can't, fines at 9 times the cost of gas will be served to those that burn gas when they are required to switch to that fuel oil. Interruptible customers do not receive entitlements and will be required to pay for all construction costs. And then heavy fuel oils are being phased out. It's good to know because I do mention number 4, and currently buildings are burning number 6 as a backup. Those will eventually all have to be switched over to number 2. The dual fuel firm rate is another rate for Con Edison territories. For buildings that are now burning at least 70,000 gallons of oil annually, can inquire with the Con Edison representative about the dual fuel firm rate and how it fits for their particular building. This equates to about 100,000 therms. The building can maintain a dual fuel system, but pays the firm rate for the gas. So it's very important to know. With this rate, the building does not get any entitlements. However, the construction costs for the buildings are processed through a revenue test done by the utility to see if any upfront costs are required for the service. Your monthly energy bills are calculated in the same fashion as a firm rate customer. And switching to the secondary fuel system can be done at any time as long as the minimum usage of gas is burned. Here are some definitions to help clarify some of the things I've been speaking of. What a gas main is, what a service is, the equating BTU value of a therm of gas. As you can see, it's lower than that of fuel oil. So, but it burns clean. Secondary service. Some people ask about a secondary service. A building that opts for these secondary services will pay full amount for that service. And the amount of the service is not just for the pipe, but it's a calculated cost by the utility that serves to maintain that service through the life of that service. So it could be quite costly. Commitment to firm rate. A lot of people ask about this. It's in the tariff, and I've given you the page, section, and provision, and there's the link. It explains your commitment to firm rate service. Technical assistance, we are here. If you have any questions after the review of this mini webinar, please feel free to either call 311 or ask for the NYC Clean Heat, or you can email us at the link, the email address set forth down at the bottom there. We're here to answer any questions, and in doing so, also when you're on this page, very interesting is to look and check out our Spot the Soot map. You'll be able to look at any buildings around yours to see who's burning heavy fuels or who actually has even converted to clean fuel. So with that said, I thank you very much. Here's the email address and the phone number. You have a great day, and we wish to hear from you. Thank you. Bye.